Attention, my human family. It has been brought to my political awareness that certain clergy members of the Ethiopian Orthodox Christian faith, expectation of prophet to come, in Jamaica, have met with government officials to discriminate against our Ethiopian Shiloh diplomatic claim, as an indigenous individual human rights defender, baptized member. Unfortunately, they have been indoctrinated with a Eurocentric Jesuit philosophy superimposed through a corporate monopoly within the bankrupt Jamaican nation-state, and find it hard to believe that we the people, voice of God, can politically unite with one accord mind, in human rights faith, expectation of prophet to come, to diplomatically access international human rights justice and manifest real ecclesiastical change, choosing humanity a new global economy as fate. The only benefits that the seeds sown in global financial tyranny will possess is the assurance of universal financial liberation for humankind, in essence return. Biblically, Matthew 8:11-12, revised in Ethiopian Spectacles for Ecclesiastical Change. I tell you, many, 7 billion people, will come from east and west and ecclesiastically recline at the diplomatic table with Ethiopian Abraham, family head of many nation-states, Father Isaac, Abuna Yesehaq, and Jacob, 21st century younger generation, in the debt-free kingdom of heaven empire of Ethiopia. 12 While the children, baptized members of the kingdom, will be thrown into the outer IMF darkness, debtor status. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, in global financial tribulations and apostasy. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verses 10-12. Spiritual, intellectual, divine Ethiopian wisdom. But elect of God the Father Majesty, UN lawgiver of the 20th century, has revealed it to us, Ethiopian Christians, by the Spirit, intelligence. The Spirit searches all diplomatic things, even the deep ecclesiastical things of elect of God the Son, Christos to come. 11 For who among men knows the thoughts of man except his own spirit, intelligence, within him? So too, no one, Vikipope, knows the thoughts of elect of God the Father Majesty, UN lawgiver of the 20th century, except the spirit, intelligence, of elect of God the Son to come. 12 We have not received the Jesuit-taught spirit of the bankrupt modern world of global commerce, but the Spirit who is from elect of God the Son to come, that we may understand what elect of God the Father Majesty, UN lawgiver of the 20th century, has freely given us today. James chapter 4:10 Humble yourselves before the coming sovereign Lord, political master, and Ethiopian Shiloh will ecclesiastically exalt you without delay. 11 Do not speak evil against one another, brothers and sisters. The one who speaks against a brother or sister, or judges his brother or sister under global financial apostasy, speaks evil against the human rights law of fundamental equality for all human beings, and judges the human rights law, 30 articles, simultaneously. But if you judge the human rights law, you are not a doer of the human rights law but a Jesuit-taught judge. 12 There is only one Ethiopian lawgiver and judge, decision-maker, to come. He, Ethiopian Shiloh, who is able to diplomatically save humanity from global financial apostasy, and to destroy the Jesuit rulers, usurpers of human rights, over our modern system of social democracy, political choices. But who are you, as a voluntary debtor, citizen, taxpayer, slave, to judge your Ethiopian neighbor, private humanitarian diplomat, and lawfully? Hebrews chapter 7 verses 11-28. A superior Ethiopian Orthodox priesthood. 11 Now if perfection could have been attained through the Levitical priesthood, upon which basis the people received the human rights law, why is there still a need for another Ethiopian Orthodox high priest to majestically appear? 1 In the ecclesiastical order of Melchizedek, Christian kings of righteousness, emperors of Ethiopia, true line of Christos to manifest, and not in the order of Aaron, representative. 12. For when the Ethiopian priesthood is changed to Jesuit inequality, the human rights law must be changed to reflect it as well. 13. The Jesuit Pope of whom these things are said belonged to a different tribe, from which no one, Vicar Pope, has ever served at the altar in Ethiopia. 14. For it is quite clear that our sovereign Lord, political master, will descend from Judah, lawgivers, a tribe, royal Solomonic dynasty, as to which Ethiopian Moses said nothing about Jesuit-taught priests. 15. And this point is even more clear, if another Ethiopian Orthodox high priest like Melchizedek, Christian king of righteousness, majestically appears. 16. One prophet, who has become an Ethiopian Orthodox high priest, not by a cultural law of succession to the imperial throne of David in Ethiopia, but by the sovereign ecclesiastical power of an indestructible debt-free diplomatic life. 17. For it is testified, you are an Ethiopian Orthodox high priest forever, in the ecclesiastical order of Melchizedek. 18. So the former human rights commandment is set aside because it was politically weak and useless without a human rights claimant. 19. For the human rights law made nothing perfect, and a better hope, humans organizing potential energies, is introduced by which we draw near to the coming elect of God the Son, Christos. 20. And none of this happened without a sacred oath at ordination. 4 others, clergy, became Jesuit-taught priests without a sacred oath. 21. But Issac, Ethiopian Jesus, became an Ethiopian Orthodox high priest with a sacred oath by the one emperor of Ethiopia, who ecclesiastically said to him, the sovereign Lord, political master, has sworn and will not change his mind. You are an Ethiopian Orthodox high priest forever. 22. Because of this sacred oath by the Ethiopian Orthodox clergy, Issac, Ethiopian Jesus, has become the guarantee of a better human rights covenant, sacred UN agreement today. 23. Now there have been many other Jesuit-taught priests, since civil death prevented them from continuing in ecclesiastical office. 24. But because Issac diplomatically lives forever, he has a permanent priesthood in Ethiopia. 25. Therefore he is able to diplomatically save completely those human rights defenders, private diplomats, who draw near to elect of God the Father Majesty's UDHR charter through him, since he, Ethiopian Shiloh, always lives to intercede for them. 26. Such an Ethiopian Orthodox high priest truly befits us. One who is holy, innocent, undefiled, set apart from commercial sinners, transgresses against UDHR law of equality, and will be exalted above into heaven empire of Ethiopia. 27. Unlike the other Jesuit-taught high priests, vicar popes, the Ethiopian Shiloh does not need to commercially offer daily political sacrifices. First for his own commercial sins, transgressions against UDHR law of equality, and then for the commercial sins of the Tewahedo, oneness, Christian people. He will politically sacrifice commercial sin, once for all, when he ecclesiastically offers up himself as the vicar pope's diplomatic replacement. 28. For the human rights law appoints as Jesuit-taught priests men who are politically weak. But the sacred oath, which came after the law, appointed the absolute divine anointed seed, Son of humanity, who has been made perfect in UDHR law forever. For your information, every Ethiopian Orthodox priest took a sacred oath upon become a member of the clergy. They were instructed to guard this sacred trust, credit, until the second advent, where the Ethiopian Messiah shall demand its sacred trust back from them. With a divine Ethiopian birth name, hereditary Christian title gifted from His Imperial Majesty while in my mother's belly, we respectfully demanded the head priest in Jamaica to trust our Ethiopian Shiloh diplomatic claim. But he laughed at our divine Ethiopian testimony and made secret deals with the Jesuit-created government to block our inheritance claim in faith, expectation of profit to come. Politically. Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights state, everyone human being has the international right, diplomatic privilege to freedom of thought, conscience, knowing human right from Jesuit wrongs and choosing human rights and religion, way of life. This international right includes freedom to change his superimpose what Jesuit-created religion, debtor tax-paying citizens' way of life, or false belief, so it's set. And freedom, either alone or in autonomous community with others, EOTC members, and in public or private, to manifest his new debt-free humanitarian religion or equality belief in human rights teaching, international political practice, worship, trust and obedience, and constant observance. Therefore, those who believe that peaceful human rights civil disobedience demonstrations is a big waste of time literally fail in their own moral responsibility to exercise their international rights, diplomatic privileges, to freedom of religion, a way of life collectively, and tacitly consent to Jesuit geopolitical crimes, global Jesuit imperialism, unwittingly. The greatest gift that the UDHR Charter diplomatically offer humanity is the international legislation of human rights, morality, goodness. For Article 30 state, nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any bankrupt nation, state, legal fiction, group, Jesuit-taught clergy, politicians and police, or person, vicar pope, any international right, diplomatic privilege to engage in any political activity or to perform any diplomatic act aimed at the destruction of any of the international rights and fundamental freedoms set forth herein. No one is lawfully justified by the voice of Jesuit-taught subjects, debtor tax-paying citizens, under the bankrupt nation-state legal fiction. But instead, we are all justified lawfully under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights Charter of Fundamental Equality. Under Article 21.3, the will of the people shall be the basis of all authorization of government entities, in collective security, all for one Christos and one Christos for all. Furthermore, Article 2 state, everyone, human being, is entitled to all the international rights, diplomatic privilege, and fundamental commercial freedoms set forth in this declaration, without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth or other status, private humanitarian diplomat. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional or international status of the country or territory, kingdom of Debrozite to which a person, international legal personality, belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing or under any other limitation of sovereignty, political free will. Final note. As the defender of the Ethiopian orthodox faith, expectation of profit to come in the West, we are ecclesiastically challenging the Vicar Pope's de facto authority as the head pedophile supporter of these criminal Jesuits, Secret Society of Jesus. Therefore, any human being who willingly or unwillingly oppose our ecclesiastical ascension to the imperial throne of David, he who is well-pleasing to the law, in Ethiopia today, either become mutual co-defendants with Jesuit renegades, human rights violators by tacit allegiance, agreement by silence to the state, or mentally suffer from neurosis, financial deprivation, which is the root cause of crime and violence under global financial tyranny. Rest assured, my human family, that there truly is wonder-working redemptive political power, human rights knowledge of self, in the precious blood, human rights works of our Ethiopian lamb, political sacrifice, in global trade today. Moa Anbesa, conquering lion, Christos of the tribe, royal Solomonic dynasty of Judah, lawgivers have prevailed, Selah. If universal human rights judgment, decision-making, begins with the Ethiopian House of the Elect, what will be the political outcome of all those debtor citizen taxpayers under global financial threat, exploitation,